Good morning and welcome back to UKISUG Connect Live 2025. Now please welcome to the stage your host, TV presenter and journalist, Piers Gibbon.
And a very good morning to you. And it's great to see so many shining, happy faces awake and alive after SUGFest last night. I have to say, UKISUG dancers are the best. You guys get on the dance floor even when I didn't dare. My flash shiny shirt was writing checks that my legs refused to cash last night because there was too much light on the dance floor for me. And I was talking to a couple of data analysts to the side, and we were both hiding in the shadows. And basically we decided that there is a graph that once the lighting reaches a certain level there, I need to be this level completely smashed before I get on it. But you got on there even before you were completely smashed. If, by the way, you've forgotten what you got up to last night, cameras were everywhere. So just search social media for hashtag UKISUG Connect. Now, today is, of course, all about AI. This morning's all about AI. And I watched the rehearsal of this presentation yesterday, and it is fabulous. I learned a lot. And when they were throwing questions out to the audience, I was the only member of the audience, so I was given all of the questions. And I got them all wrong. And it was brilliant to learn that my instincts as to what AI can do and can't do are way off what the research says AI can and can't do. And in the spirit of the I was given the challenge, at the end you'll hear, use AI as a career coach. Just try it out, see what it can do for you. So I asked this morning, what can you give me as a joke to start this with? So here you go, I'll do the entrance again. Good morning, my name's Piers Gibbon, and today you're going to be learning from your peers, and I'll be gibbing you a good time. Okay, I think people are still funnier, especially, I met a woman, I hope she's here, I met a woman in the queue for the coffee this morning. I said, how are you feeling after SUGFest? And she said, fresh as a daisy on a freshly dug grave. Now, I don't know if that is a UKISUG phrase, but I really think it should be. I think we can incorporate that into our work pattern. So yes, my core is absolutely clean and fresh as a daisy on a freshly dug grave. So that wasn't ChatGPT, that was one of your peers from whom you were learning today. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a fantastic speech, and I know you're going to be learning a lot. Please welcome Timo Elliott and Sonia Nash.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Timo Elliott, and I'm an innovation evangelist for SAP.
And I'm Sonia Nash, the head of business AI for SAP UK and Ireland.
And we're going to be talking about how to optimize man and machine for business AI success and how to AI-proof your own careers in an era of artificial intelligence. But first, a quick story. In 1940, Einstein was teaching at Princeton, and he was giving an exam to his second-year students when one of them stood up and complained. But sir, these are exactly the same exam questions as you gave us in last year's test. And Einstein said, yes, but the answers are all now different. This was the era of quantum physics that was overturning the world of physics and science, and everybody had to relearn everything they thought they knew. We all have to relearn the formulas for success in this new world. The bottom line is that AI is fantastic at discovering efficiencies. The bad news is you might be one of them. Many of you will know I'm actually a cartoonist in my spare time in an attempt to diversify outside of my main job. So if you'd like some free cartoons to use in your next presentation, you can go to timoelliott.com. I'm told that some of them are even mildly amusing.
But before we start, we wanted to make sure that you're awake this morning. So we wanted to ask you a few important questions. So this is the time where you can get your phones out and start with us a little bit of a reflection. So, does AI make you better at your job? What do you think? We've got a few yes, a lot. I don't really use AI. I'm surprised not to see anybody mentioning not really. That's something, there you go. as I was saying it, it's an interesting reflection, but most people, 63% so far, are thinking that, yes, it's actually making you better at your job.
All right, we've definitely established that the audience is AI-enabled.
Absolutely.
So the next question is the interesting one, and we have verified that the answers to this poll are indeed anonymous, so you can actually tell us the truth.
So do they know how much you're using AI?
I'm interested in this. Do people boast internally about their AI because they know that their bosses want them to use AI? Or are they using AI to improve their own productivity, but they don't want to tell their boss because they're scared of getting more work or getting replaced by AI?
The boot. Absolutely. But the interesting thing here is that, no, they haven't asked. So it's not about a question of yes or no. Well, they haven't asked, so I'm not saying, potentially. So if we move to the next question, probably the most contentious question out there, we remind you this is anonymous. Do you think your boss's boss think that you can be replaced by AI? What do you think here?
I think I can start seeing why people came to this presentation this morning.
Yes. Interesting.
All
There's no right or wrong answer, right? But it's interesting to get the polls.
This is the ambient world where people are using AI, getting value from AI, but we all are feeling slightly threatened by what it means to us in the world of work. And the bottom line is that AI is indeed already superhuman. Now, we're used to computers being better at us at maths, at calculations. It has been our entire lifetimes. But it's now getting much better than us at a whole suite of other things, including reading comprehension, reasoning. There was a lovely competition-level mathematics. Just yesterday, I saw a study that showed that a beta version of an algorithm has just solved what's called one of the Erdos problems. And this has been an open problem in mathematics for 30 years. They spun up this algorithm. 6 hours of autonomous working later, it had solved the problem and provided a proof where all the other mathematicians went, yep, did it. So, and AI, in terms of IQ tests, is smarter than 95% of us. So things have come a long way very quickly. And you can see that chart is getting steeper and steeper. It's getting better, but it's getting better faster. Here's one of the most interesting charts I've seen to do with the progression of AI over the last few years. This shows the lengths of tasks that AI can do autonomously with a 50% success rate. And don't let that straight line fool you. That scale is exponential. So it's doubling every 6 to 7 months. Now, if this stays true in the future, here's what we're looking at over the next few years. By 2028, AI will be able to do a full 40-hour work week on its own without any supervision. And 2031, not that far away, a full 50-week work hour. That's the scary part. The good news is this is talking about doing tasks autonomously. In the real world, work is absolutely not like that. Yes, AI is going to replace tasks, but that's not the same thing as replacing work, replacing job, and replacing humans. The good news is that so far, at least, all the studies show that employment for white-collar workers who are most threatened by artificial intelligence is not going down. This is a chart from The Economist, and a McKinsey study that just came out last week said that the respondents do not expect total number of employees in the year ahead to go down. Now, this seems weird because we all hear about these AI layoffs and things, but the reality is that we can't see the jobs that are being created because of artificial intelligence. It's much harder for us to imagine them, but they're absolutely out there. Now, I should say that there is a little asterisk to this that we should be concerned about, is that junior employment does seem to be dipping, because the easy tasks that people used to do when they first joined an organization, those are the ones that are most easily replaced by AI. So if you do have kids, as I do, I would strongly recommend that we make sure that they are AI-enabled, so when they go to their job interviews, they can explain to people that what they're bringing to the organization is this new way of working, and help explain the new way of working to the rest of us old fogies out here. AI is like a Formula One racing car that's been dropped into a medieval village. It's incredibly powerful technology, but the rest of the infrastructure has to change in order to take advantage of it. If we did not change, if AI did not progress at all, it would still take us collectively about a decade to get the most out of what we already have and adapt our existing processes and organizations. And of course, AI still shows no sign of slowing down. So the task for all of us in this room is to figure out how to adapt to the world of AI faster. How can we really get the most out of this fantastic technology?
So the thing we're going to be looking at today is how do we optimize the use of AI at work? You've got this Ferrari that's landed into your medieval village. How do you get to use it in a way that actually makes sense? Now, when we look at the pressure there is in terms of AI and perhaps C-level's willingness to implement AI, a lot of the discussions that we're having can be summarized in what you're seeing here. So usually, we have this case scenario where C-levels come to us and say, we want AI. And at that point, my answer or my question to them is always, AI to do what exactly? Where? To solve what problem? More often than not, the answer is, we don't really know, but we want it anyway, right? Because we have to have AI. That in itself doesn't constitute, obviously, an AI roadmap, an AI strategy. But this is often the starting point of a lot of AI conversations. And I know there's a few partners in the room, and probably a lot of you have had those kind of conversations as well.
We all know there are CEOs out there that are salivating at the idea of getting rid of messy, annoying human beings. The good news is that all of the research data shows that that is not the right approach. It isn't the best for the organization.
Absolutely, and you've probably heard some of those stats, right? That 95% of AI pilots, as of today, are either failing to reach an actual positive ROI and also reach production. So before you even start thinking about this incredible, questionable promise of getting rid of a whole lot of people, there is a lot of work to be done on the ground to make sure that AI can even get to that point. So that's one of the things that we are seeing. But also, I think that's quite interesting, is that most pilots live in the shadows. They are driven by a particular department on a particular process. And we also find that actually a lot of employees are using AI today, and the poll that you've just done shows that there is a lot of enthusiasm about AI, but it's still at a level that is not necessarily visible to the C-level.
So here's the latest report from McKinsey. It came out just last week. So AI is absolutely being adopted, and people are seeing efficiency gains. But the companies seeing the most success are not concentrating on the efficiency gains, on the replacing people. They're about growth and innovation and doing new things in new ways, and redesigning workflows is one of the key success factors for getting the most out of artificial intelligence.
Absolutely. And look, there's a few key ingredients to making an AI roadmap, an AI strategy successful. And we'll walk you through a few of them. Of course, cloud architecture. We are SAP, right? We wouldn't be here without talking about cloud. But there is good reasons for it. I know probably many of you were thinking that the move to cloud was maybe almost a commercial play from SAP. But the reality is that cloud computing is what allows scalable innovation. Right? So starting point to any AI journey being on the cloud is very advantageous.
So let me ask the obvious question is, as we saw in the statistics yesterday, there's a bunch of people who are not yet in the cloud. Does that mean they can't do anything with artificial intelligence?
Absolutely not. You can do AI without being in the cloud. So there's things to think about. You probably have tools that are not necessarily your ERP, that are cloud-based, where you can do AI. But also, even if you are on-prem, you've got tools like our business technology platform, BTP, as we love to call it, where you can start developing AI solutions. So you're not completely, if you like, without options. But, of course, with cloud, you will have the benefit of leveraging out-of-the-box technology, which is a lot easier. So a couple of other things that you probably heard a lot when we talk about SAP, when we talk about ERP. But I'll give you an anecdote, actually, on this. About a month ago, I was with one of our CTO on one of the very large consumer companies who was saying, well, we need data for AI. This is no news here, but what I can do is take all of the data from SAP, shove it into a data lake, and do a bit of AI on it. Can you do that? Absolutely. But what happens, I asked, when your CFO needs to know the cash position as of today, right? Are you going to tell him or her, actually, I won't be able to provide you this because the data dump is 3 days old and I'm not going to do another copy in 2 days. So this is where we start thinking about data provenance, data access, and also data cleanliness. So that's what we mean by having a robust data architecture and a clean core. It's not just about having nice data that AI can consume. It's also thinking about what sources of data and where should they reside.
To put it really cynically, you know all of those data quality problems that you've had forever and the CEO never wanted to pay for? Just go and tell them that it's AI now, and you can get the data you need, the money you need to go buy Business Data Cloud.
That's it. That's it. Business Data Cloud can help with obviously these kind of things. Now, we talked about it a minute ago. Roadmap.
On Clean Core in particular, this is like updating your existing code to the new world. I do want to give a couple of shout-outs to the partners that have booths here. I don't want to play favorites, but hunt them out, because there's some really good use of artificial intelligence technology to help you take all of your existing environments and move them to the new world with the least effort possible, as fast as possible. So there are absolutely solutions out there. Go talk to the partners.
Yeah, but it's about thinking as well that you've got processes that are no different from anybody else. Accounting is accounting. So when you think about clean core, it's not just about clean data, it's what requires customization versus what should really be standard. I tend to say, accounting is accounting. You don't need to have 72 customizations in your ERP to do accounts receivable, for example. So that's what the clean core principle is about. Roadmap planning, we talked about it. Saying that you want AI everywhere is not a strategy. This is not a roadmap. So making sure that you plan AI within your company business goals, that they're attached, that they live together, that they feed off each other, is quite important. AI is not a separate entity to everything else that you're doing. It should be really embedded into that strategy. So making sure that these discussions happen at C-level are quite important. The last key ingredient that most people fail to talk about when we talk about AI, it's always about the shiny new toy, it's about showcasing the technology, the use case. But the reality is that it's your people who will be designing AI solutions for your other people, your employees. So investing in people is absolutely key to success when it comes to AI. It's not just about training and making sure that people know what they're doing, but you need to bring your workforce with you into that journey. They need to understand why we're doing AI. So that's really important.
Absolutely, and I can prove it to you. Here's the MIT study. What are the biggest barriers to AI success? Well, it's us, mostly. People. We all know that when technology projects go wrong, it's never about the technology. It's always about people and culture and organization and skills and incentives.
And in the keynote that we saw yesterday, we talked about the value of AI in the UK, this survey that we've done with Oxford Economics. One of the things that we've seen is that 68% of organizations were saying that they know that their staff is using AI. And this is putting potentially the company at risk because they're not necessarily approved tools. There's two ways of looking into this: the doom and gloom, the oh my God, this is a risk, which is the case, but also the fact that your employees are not afraid of this technology. I think the days of, oh my God, AI is scary, it's going to take over my job, I don't want to get near it, are gone. People are embracing it. So you need to capitalize on that enthusiasm and make sure that you do the second part, which is train them, provide adequate training to your users so that they know what can be used safely, why, and also what shouldn't be used. So, very important.
I think we can tie this back to the 50% of people who said that their company didn't know they were using AI. Out of interest, hands up if you've already put company-sensitive data into a public chatbot, even though you know you're not supposed to. Hands up if you're not going to put your hands up because you're worried about getting fired.
It's recorded, they're a bit afraid here.
Here's a wonderful case study. This is from Standard Chartered Bank, and they have rolled out the artificial intelligence in SAP SuccessFactors to 85,000 employees around the globe. And they use this explicitly as the spearhead for a much longer, more strategic approach to infusing artificial intelligence through the entire organization. So, if you want to make AI successful, it works best when you do it with people rather than at people. So human resources technology is perfect for this. It makes sure at Chartered Bank that every employee knows how their goals around AI map to the overall strategy of the organization and their performance reviews, and most importantly, that they have the skills and the training they need to be able to deliver the AI value for the rest of the organization. Here's a really interesting study. This was March of this year, Harvard Business Review with Procter & Gamble. So they put together 4 different teams, an individual on their own, 2 people, an individual plus AI, or a team of 2 people plus AI. And they gave them a real-world innovation task. So at Procter & Gamble, they have a very, very strong innovation framework, and they tasked these people to come out with something new and groundbreaking that was actually improved those people's area of business. And then they looked at all the results and got experts to check the quality of them all. So the baseline is the individual performance. We're going to take that as 0 is the performance of a person. So how do we think a team did compared to an individual? Better, right? 2 heads are better than 1. How about individual plus AI? Better than a team or worse than a team, do you think? Better. Yes, quite a bit better. So this really does show the real-world power of AI when applied to augmenting people. Good news is that teams plus artificial intelligence did even better, although not by much. And the AI accelerated this process. So the people using AI were able to do these tasks, but also do them quite a bit faster. But that's not the whole story. The interesting part is when they went through the answers and they ranked all of the responses and basically decided whether it was a top 10 innovation idea, was this really good, or was it just, 9 out of 10 innovation idea? And then they looked at the scores for those. So again, a team did better than an individual. And this time, individual plus AI, what do you think? Better, worse? Nobody wants to answer now. Actually worse. So a team of people do better for those top 10 ideas compared to an individual with AI. So AI is powerful, but it tends to come up with middle-of-the-road answers, not things that are really interesting and original. And team plus AI, thankfully, blew them away. The clear result from this study is that the right way to get success from artificial intelligence is to augment teams of people. And it was interesting looking into the detail. How did AI help? Well, it actually broke down some of the silos that sometimes stop teams from doing their best. Got rid of functional boundaries, democratized experience within the team, and people enjoyed the process more when AI was involved. So great positive result for human beings.
Yeah, but one thing that's quite interesting is when we look at it from one of the slides earlier around that CFO, I believe, who mentioned that he was bragging about the idea of getting rid of people. What we've clearly showed with this particular study is actually teams of people with AI are valuable. So you still need those people to generate interesting ideas that are then augmented by AI. So I think it supports the case that, is it here to replace us necessarily? Probably not.
Now, it doesn't mean that the world of work isn't changing, particularly if your job is deep expertise. That's when things get a little bit tricky. We all need to move from doing things ourselves to being managers. Everybody becomes a manager. Trying to get the most out of artificial intelligence is often about doing the things that managers have to do. You have to very clearly define the goal and what you want and give directions to help people improve the answer. So we all need to get used to working with these new cybernetic toolmates. It's also going to have a difference on the structure of organizations. This is how we tend to think about the use of AI, where it's just going to take out the lower level of the organization, and the executives and everybody else will be fine. That's not really what Gartner and the others find is happening. The reality is that AI is being infused throughout the stack, so the CEO also has just as many tasks that are being eliminated by AI as the frontline worker. But the bulk of the work will go to these AI-empowered teams in the middle of the organization, making organizations more of a diamond-type structure. So, what does that all mean for you?
Yeah, and I think this is one of the things that we wanted to sort of bring to you, is when you see all of those stats, how does this apply to you? What can you do today to future-proof your career, to thrive in the age of AI? One thing that you may have seen in some of the studies is that some of your skills, some of your tasks may become obsolete or outdated by a certain period, right? And the World Economic Forum here states that about 39% of workers' skill set will be outdated by 2030. This is 4 years from now. So this is something to really think about and start now to future-proof your career.
And here's how I put it. The asteroid is coming and we're all dinosaurs. I fundamentally believe that part of your job is obsolete. There is something that you do every day that you probably shouldn't be doing. You should be giving it over to an algorithm. But there's another part of your job that is supercharged, where you can be maybe 10 or 100 times more effective than in the past. And the key, of course, is to figure out which one is which.
Who remembers this? Who has worked with this before? Few hands raised.
Right, shout it out. Who knows what this is? I can't hear anything. You have to shout louder. VisiCalc. Yay! Good job. Excellent. All right. So this was the very first spreadsheet, and of course that meant that that accountants were eliminated, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, so we thought. 15 years ago, I started in finance as an accounts payable clerk, and this was my reality. My job was to take everything that you see in those piles of paper and manually key it in a system that actually looked like this. And for variances between purchase order and invoices, I had to use the good old calculator. 2 years later, optical character recognition software came into the forefront, and we all looked at each other in my team thinking, this is it. We are all losing our job. Did that happen? Do you know if accounts payable today is a function from the past? No, you all have an accounts payable function in your company. The job evolved, right? So when I didn't spend 70% of my time data entry, manually keying in information into a system, I was able to spend more time on value-added tasks. So looking at supplier queries, making sure that perhaps paying suppliers at a discounted rate earlier was more beneficial than paying them at 70 days. Doing all of that analytical work that was not only a little bit more fulfilling for my 2 brain cells, but also bringing a little bit more to the company. So it's not about AI replacing jobs, it's about reshaping jobs. The tasks you're doing today will be changed, but it doesn't mean that your function, your job, the value you're bringing to the company will be eliminated.
Here's how a former colleague, SAP colleague turned professor puts it: half your job was never your job. We all do things as part of our role that we should give away. We're seeing this a lot right now with the finance function. Finance teams are often delighted when we come in with the ability to automate the boring work that they hate doing. Why? Because it means that they can do their real jobs, which is help the rest of the organization on strategy. At the end of the day, if you really want to AI-proof your own job and your own career, you own the problem and the solution. The one thing that AI can never have is autonomy and understanding the full context of everything that's going on. So own the problem, use AI to solve that problem, own the problem and use AI to solve that problem faster, and you'll be fine. What is changing is, again, expertise. Direct expertise has become less valuable. If you're a direct tax expert, you used to get a lot of money just by knowing all the tax codes. AI now knows the tax codes. But the ability to apply that knowledge to real-world situations becomes more powerful than ever before. We talked about the jobs of the future. They're being created right now. So look around you, go and find a problem that hasn't been solved, that could be solved with AI, and make it your job. Define something for yourself. And interestingly enough, the jobs that are most AI-proof are the ones that are hardest to measure the success of. So go find a job where you can embrace ambiguity and innovation and transformation and people skills, and you should be fine. Now, we do have to mention, of course, that if you're looking to sharpen your skills, we have introduced fantastic new AI functionality into all of the products that you are already using. So please make sure that you stay up to date. Technology like Joule for consultants and Joule for developers are getting great feedback from our customers. So make sure that you can go out and get the latest information about those. And of course, we'd like to help.
Yeah, and one of the key elements, one thing that is going to be crucial in the age of AI is not necessarily your knowledge of technology. It's about being curious. You won't know everything about the technology, but being willing to learn and to think, okay, this is becoming important. I'm going to sharpen my skills into it. That's going to be the real skill of the future. Be curious. Learn about the tools that you're using. A lot of you here today are using SAP. Are you aware of all of the AI that lives in those products and how to use it effectively? Go into the saplearning.com and find a bit of information on that. And keep attending sessions like these. I mean, we've got the UKI user group helping us having those conversations and making sure that we bring these learnings together and that you can knowledge share. So keep doing that.
And as we've mentioned, AI makes a surprisingly good career counselor. So go check it out and see how to stop your CEO and CFO from considering you somebody that you might get laid off.
An important thing as well, we talked about AI in the shadows, the fact that you might be experimenting with AI on your own. Perhaps there's another 10, 15, 20 people who are doing this in the organization. Build a community within your organization where like-minded individuals can exchange, right? You may find that actually someone sitting next to you is using a really cool tool, an approved tool, that actually makes sense. And also having this community beyond the knowledge sharing can also help you perhaps lobby a little bit your C-level to help with things like career advancement, training in AI, so make sure you do these things to help.
And of course, I'm a little bit biased, but I do think that SAP is a fantastic community and area to work in an AI future. We're the clear leader in the market. There's a great opportunity to move all these organizations to the latest cloud technology. We have the best business data on the planet is stored in SAP systems. And ultimately, this future of AI agents is all about the process knowledge that SAP and everybody in this room has been working on for 50 years. So we look forward to working on all that together. The other good news is that, I love this quote from Douglas Adams, a common mistake that people make when trying to design something completely foolproof is to underestimate the ingenuity of complete fools. AI agents, at least for now, frequently do things that are absolutely ridiculous. It's going to take a long time for AI to replace human beings in reality.
And I think, look, the last thought for closing this keynote is AI is not here to replace people, but it's definitely here to reinvent work And make no mistake, it will change the way you're going about work, about your processes. So it's giving us an amazing opportunity, right, to reinvent ourselves and to make sure that we keep learning, we keep things exciting. Beyond that, the companies that are embracing those principles that we discussed, including obviously training the workforce, going beyond isolated pilots, are seeing real value in AI. So one thing that I would advise all of you to do, as we said, stay curious. And of course, if you are at C-level, start thinking about how you can really transform your company from the ground up with AI. And if you need advice on how to do that, I mean, there's a wealth of partners here in the audience today. We are here as well, so just feel free to tap us on the shoulder.
We started with Albert Einstein. Let's finish with Albert Einstein. The future is not about artificial intelligence. It's about imagination. So let's all work together to imagine the right future for the AI era. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.